In a world with terrible movies, four friends compete against each other to watch the worst of the worst. After seeing the movies, they come together and review them for your pleasure. Who saw the worst movie? What did they think of it? Was it really that bad? The challenges are different every week, but Andre, Mike, Mitchell, and T-Dawg have to have their wits about them. No one wants to see a bad movie, so to be forced to is the worst thing imaginable. Can they stay off the loser board and not have to see a bad movie? Or will it be their time to lose this week? The answer to these questions and more on Game for a Movie.
Hello and welcome to the fourth episode of Game for a Movie, where we ask, are you game for a movie? Yeah. I am your host, Mike.
I'm Mitchell.
I'm Andre.
It's been a while. I'm T-Dawg.
Whoa!
Wow.
Whoa! Coming in hot.
Dang.
Was that a little,
Stained? Is that it?
I was just gonna
was
say...
it Third Eye Blind? I don't know.
No, I think it's
Stained.
Okay.
Yeah, it's definitely
I was just going to say, no matter what it was butt rock.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
We're now, so we're pivoting to a butt rock podcast.
No.
And
there goes our last viewer. Or listener, I guess. We were missing somebody last time. T-Dawg, you're back. Where were you?
I cannot disclose where I was.
I told you it was a murder trial. He got acquitted.
I told you he died from, what did I say last week?
Dysentery,
basically.
You didn't say he died. You just said he had explosive diarrhea.
Oh, true.
No.
Yeah, explosive diarrhea.
I said he was
that
a
makes
ghost
more
the whole
sense.
time.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah.
See?
Yeah.
I mean, Mitchell's is pretty plausible,
Oh,
right?
wow.
Like,
Oh, God.
I'm not saying it wasn't,
But that lines up with
saying,
what
like,
you're saying.
You're willing
What
to
did you
admit
say
that?
again?
I said that you're on trial for murder, which I know for a
mean,
fact.
that we don't.
I was a witness to it. Plot twist.
God.
I
I
said
was
you
an accomplice. I mean, what?
I said you were a ghost the whole time, and I have to say I've never been able to like touch you, so
That's
I
true.
don't know
That's
if it's still
interesting.
untrue.
I guess we may never know.
Or
maybe
is it just a skin
Stay
tone?
tuned
It's just
to
like, is he a
episode
ghost?
98 of this podcast.
That's
and
when
we'll review
the grand reveal.
The grand reveal.
I like it.
Of my,
If we make it to 98, I'll be shocked.
A 98 act structure. I like it.
All
Let's
right.
do it.
Hey, I'm in. So we also want to say happy birthday, T-Dawg. Your birthday was sometime in the past year. We know.
Yeah.
Right?
There's 365 days, and on one of them.
This past
On one of them.
year, that one day was. It's a good birthday.
That was a day to
It was
remember.
pretty special.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah,
It's,
it was a good
it's like I don't know. It's like a day had passed in time. So
Oh, wow.
it's good.
Very
It
positive.
was
That's
good.
really
Yeah.
deep.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. It's like if you averaged out the other days, it's about the same. You know?
Oh, okay.
Wow.
nice.
So humble.
Yeah.
So
Dude, I can't wait to hear your review.
Yeah.
Really
For your
putting me in the
birthday,
moment.
of course, you had to watch a terrible movie because we ended up doing a random.
Yeah,
Draft
let's
generator.
quote unquote random on this.
It was
yeah,
random.
that's-
Dude, it was
you
random.
You lost multiple times.
Yeah, no,
Even
we
random.
ran it like
oh,
10
this is gonna
times.
be
Yeah, I
Like,
mean,
suspicious.
it's like, let's see.
The fates had decided.
T-Dawg loses. That's the primary,
Yeah,
element
it's like
of
a
that.
yeah. It's
Yeah.
well, you get to choose
If-
a challenge
if
this week.
T-Dawg-
Just don't
If
lose.
T-Dog is
Yeah.
absent,
Yeah.
he loses.
It's
Just
just
don't-
like,
All right,
That's random.
The challenge I picked this week: if your name's Mike, you lose.
Oh,
That
no,
is
no.
terrible.
well, that's
Especially
you know,
since one person in our group still has not seen a bad movie.
I don't know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
I only see
I think I'm just calling
That's
him
a
out
good
there.
I only see gray movies.
I try to.
So,
He's come really close to losing multiple times.
There's
so I
some
actually
fumbles every
forgot.
now and again.
yeah, right?
Yeah.
He's been like
Yeah.
second to last a few times. But
Dude,
he's
I'm
not.
a survivor. Survive
Right.
in advance.
Yep.
That's all you need. You don't need to win. You just don't need to lose.
Right.
There you go. So, all right, let's jump into this week's movies. I guess I will start because we want to end with T-Dawg, and that's just the way we go around the table. So, I saw technically 2-for-1 movies this week.
Double
Double
feature.
feature, right?
I had always had an interest. I wanted to see Happy Death Day.
Okay.
Because I like the concept of the repeating the same day. Like, one of my favorite movies is Groundhog Day.
Oh, classic.
Oh, I thought
It's
you were going to
classic.
say Freaky Friday.
No,
But
I was
that's
not going to say
not-
Freaky
That's
Friday.
not
That's not a
really
repeating.
Yeah,
No, that's
That's just a body
I know.
swap.
It's just as wacky.
I realized that as I said it.
Bill Murray
Yeah.
was great for
I'm pretty sure it's a Lil Dicky song.
That's yep.
Wow.
That,
All right.
that place.
But yeah, so I rented Happy Death Day to see Happy Death Day 2U.
Oh, so you were caught up on the lore.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Wait,
I
so
was caught up.
it's 2U. It's not 2.
It's 2U,
you.
as the kids do.
Yeah,
Wow.
as the kids
As the
text
kids,
each other
yes.
with their SMS.
Yes,
I feel
I-
so
their
cool for
emojis.
not knowing that.
I have to
Okay.
say, this is a PG-13 scary movie.
Both of them?
Both of them,
Yes.
yes. And so I put scary in quotes. It's
Yeah.
definitely more of a thriller than scary,
Okay.
I would say.
Okay.
The first one I actually really enjoyed. I actually thought it was dumb, but it was like self-aware enough.
So for the listeners at home, what's the basic thesis behind
So this
Happy
girl-
Death Day?
Thesis.
Yeah, the thesis. What's the thesis statement to this piece?
So this
if
girl
you will?
wakes up on her birthday in a guy's bedroom, like a dorm.
So
And
this is college then.
yes, this is
Okay.
college. Yes,
Got
it
it.
takes place in college. Sorry. She's in sorority, that kind of stuff. She goes through her day. At the end of the day, she gets murdered.
Oh, damn.
Oh,
Oh no.
Wow.
But she wakes up again in the dorm going like, oh, it was a dream, like what happened, that kind of thing. But everything's replaying the same thing.
okay.
And then, so she's like kind of nervous about this one area because this is where she got murdered. So she avoids it and like goes the opposite way. This guy has a baby face mask, which is like really creepy.
Like is it King Cake Baby or whatever?
Yeah.
Like the-
So it's
right,
in
okay.
Louisiana. And
Oh, so it is.
and the
Okay.
university is the Bayfield Babies.
Gotcha. Okay.
So like they try to connect it.
Yeah.
I see.
Sure.
I
And
see.
like in the second one, there's a throwaway joke like, "Who chose a baby?" It's like really creepy looking, like that kind of like they're
Got it.
self-aware now.
Right.
Okay.
Little look
And
at the
like
camera.
there's a bunch of different like tropes and that kind of stuff. What you need to know about the first movie, she figures out, she gets the guy, day is saved. Okay.
Gets the guys in the murderer.
the murderer
Gets
Okay.
Gets the murderer as well as
And
the love
gets the
interest.
guy.
as well.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah.
Nice.
Sexy.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay,
So-
I'm in.
So there's that. So.
Yeah.
Sweet.
We jump to Happy Death Day to You because first movie I give like a 3.5 baby masks out of 5 because
Oh, okay.
it was dumb and everything
pretty
like that, but it's a
enjoyable.
fun
It knew what it
watch.
was.
Exactly.
It knew what it was.
It
which
was
is huge.
very self-aware, and that is also something I like. Including there's like a joke at the end where the guy is just like, "Oh yeah," like they're talking about the fact she's relived the same day. She's like, "Oh," or he's like, "Yeah, that reminds me of Groundhog Day," and she's like, "What?" And he's like, "You know, the movie with Bill Murray." She goes, "Never seen it." Like that,
Wow.
you know, like that kind of
It's
stuff.
a
Yeah,
the
yeah,
first one.
yeah.
Yes.
That's
Okay,
fine.
At the end of
Okay.
the first one, and he's
That's
just
cute.
like, "Oh my god!" Like, okay, end of
Yeah.
movie 1. Movie 2. Here's where things get weird. So the guy has an Asian roommate who, for the and like the entire first movie, the only line he would say, he would walk in and like say, "Did you hit that fine vagina?"
Oh, God.
That is the
Charming.
That is like the limit of what he has said in the first movie.
Okay.
In the second movie, we come to learn he's a nerd that's built this machine, and he is now getting killed and reliving the same day.
Oh, boy. Okay.
So he's the
wait.
main character?
No.
Oh.
What type
Oh.
of machine did he build though?
So
don't
he
understand,
built
like-
this machine that is supposed to pause time.
Okay.
What the fuck? Okay.
Yes. Oh, we're getting deep into the rabbit hole, my friends.
Okay. Like he's just a college student. He's like, guys, I unlocked the secret to our temporal reality.
Exactly.
I'm gonna pause time.
Exactly. And so basically, they figure out who the murderer is in like the first 20 minutes. It's
Okay.
himself from another timeline.
Whoa.
And then they drop that entirely.
Okay.
Entirely. And I'm
Alright.
so mad because I would have watched that movie.
That's funny though. I
How do
like.
they, where do they pivot after that?
Yeah, like was that
Well,
just as a punchline?
So
like they-
the machine starts up,
The machine.
and they find out that the machine. I am the machine. They find out that this machine has malfunctioned. That's why she was in the time loop in the first place.
Oh, so
That's
they're
interesting.
like
For the first
explaining the first movie.
Exactly, because
I
science,
think,
you
I
know.
think that's alright.
All right.
Sure. It
Yeah.
checks out.
Yeah.
It's
What?
just
Fine.
Math,
Sure.
science.
Yeah.
It literally is just science. Like they just throw it.
Flux capacitor.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
all checks out. I saw Back to the Future. That makes sense.
So the machine malfunctions. She gets sent to another timeline where she starts the day over again process. So it's her again.
So going through.
But in this timeline, her mother's alive, but her boyfriend is dating her sorority bitch of a sister.
Oh,
Oh.
God.
Does she know she's in the time loop? Like,
Yeah, is she aware?
She's now aware for the
But-
second time. The first time she didn't.
okay, but like now like remembers or knows that she was like pushed into a different timeline type?
She figures that out.
Okay.
She figures it out mostly when she goes to dinner or lunch with her dad, and her mom comes, and she's like, "Mom, you're alive," like that kind of thing, and like it's so she relives the same day. To figure it out, she has to help the people that are not reliving the same day close the time loop. So they try all these different formulas to close the time loop, but basically she has to remember all the ones they did so they can try a new one.
Oh.
And instead of letting the killer kill her, she kills herself.
So she's dead? Like that's how...
she just
she
keeps
breaks out
killing.
the-
No, she's in the loop over and over and over
got
again
it.
still. And then basically the end is she has to figure out what timeline she wants to stay in. The one where her boyfriend is dating the bitch sorority sister. And that's just her generic.
That's how it is.
Yeah, right. So the one where she doesn't have a boyfriend, or the one that she doesn't have a mom, basically.
Yes.
Okay.
If only she could find a new boyfriend.
Yeah, right. Like right. Like that's my logic. It's like, well,
But
there are plenty
here's
of
the
fish in the
thing.
sea.
Here's the thing. She's in love with him.
She's in love with him, as well as her mom didn't die, so she has all these memories that aren't really memories that her mom holds, like, and is just like, oh, do you remember that day? That
So
was
she's almost like a
awesome."
different person, really.
Exactly.
Okay, that's
That's
interesting.
kind of
facet.
cool.
Yeah. Okay.
I like that.
So
Okay.
that was one thing that I was like, okay, that's solid
If
because
she
it gives
doesn't
it
inherit
reason.
these memories.
No,
Like,
she doesn't inherit these. She feels
That's cool.
That's cool actually.
Okay.
she
Yeah, that's
feels
neat.
like she's living somebody else's life.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Right. Like
That's
whoa.
tight. That's like
Yes.
a Black Mirror episode.
Yeah,
Okay.
and
Yeah,
so
right.
like that part was cool, but like there's so much stuff that's just like science, yay! And like the killer from the first one is still alive in the second one, but not the killer of the first one.
Okay.
And that kind of stuff. The second one, because they tried this mumbo jumbo. I'm trying to like, we've talked a while on this, so I'm trying to like close it up.
Anytime you put in time travel,
Yeah. No.
Exactly.
Right.
Like it's like the multiverse theory and
does the
stuff
plot
like that.
hold together with all this multiverse shit? Basically.
Yeah.
That's the big litmus test. Okay.
Yeah, but they just basically like an overarching just throw science.
Sure. I mean, like, whatever. You don't have to explain your PG-13 horror movie,
Yeah, exactly. And I will say the second one was not a horror movie.
Okay.
Not at all. It wasn't a thriller either, really.
Was it more of like a mystery?
It's more of a
drama?
mystery.
So,
Yeah.
so what happened to the guy that like killed himself from another timeline?
So that guy found out, like, he died one time and then found out the killer was himself, and then they just dropped that storyline.
Oh.
They
But
really
was it the guy?
Like, was it like the first act?
What
like,
was
like
it-
mystery solved. Move on to this thing.
exactly.
Oh,
That's
okay.
exactly.
But
it.
was it the guy from the timeline that she went to?
No, it was from the first one.
So not the one where she ends
All right,
up
so what-
in. Like,
okay.
Yeah.
No, not the one she ends up in.
I'm now being confused.
So Universe A, Universe B.
Oh, God.
Universe A is where she's originally from.
Yep.
And she died all these times, gets through the day. Then Asian roommate dies. She gets explained what happened, and she's like, "Okay, we'll trap the killer." And they figure out the killer is himself.
From another timeline.
He is from
From the-
Universe
C,
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 some
D.
other-
some other one they don't
yeah,
explain.
yeah.
Okay.
And then he just disappears, and it's just
Okay.
not.
I
a part of
thought
it
there
anymore.
might be like a link from.
Basically, he's just
Like
like
you mean like it was a well written movie? Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
it was not a well-written movie.
I thought we were to.
Okay, so what were you on this week? Did you have a
The
good
bad
time?
movies.
Or
I had a decent time because
Okay.
like some of the stuff was funny. She killed herself a bunch of times. There was one where
that was
like,
hilarious.
but no, there was one where like she like skydives out of a plane without a parachute wearing a bikini.
Oh,
But
Okay.
she
A
does
little
it.
fan service.
But she does it with
Gotta get
in
there somehow.
front of her boyfriend that's not her boyfriend and the bitch sorority sister.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like kind of like the camera gives the fingers.
Oh, okay.
Like
Okay.
it's very fourth wall break like
Sure,
goofiness.
it's having fun.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's having
And
fun.
Even with a morbid concept.
So did I enjoy it? Yes.
Huh.
Is it as good as the first one? No. The first one was definitely more self-aware and more
Do we need
fun.
to see this in theaters?
You do not need to see this in theaters.
What is this movie called?
Happy Death Day to You.
To
Yes.
you.
With no,
And I pulled it up on IMDb because I just want to say that Jessica Roth, the main character, is awesome. I actually
The
would
actor,
see her.
that's her name.
Yes.
Okay, Jessica Rabbit.
I would see her in a lot more things.
Okay,
I
that's
feel
awesome.
like she's right now just in these two movies, but
Yeah.
she's very like she has this timing. She's very
I feel like a lot of people make their break in like horror movies almost.
Exactly.
Jamie Lee Curtis
Yeah.
with Halloween.
Exactly. And so like this could be a stepping off point. I think next step would probably be like romantic comedy for her probably.
Sure.
Because she very much can handle that comedy element.
Cool.
She's very good at that. But yeah, I would say this movie 1.5 out of 5.
Ooh,
That's more
so
negative
we
than I
went from
anticipated.
3.5 to 1.5.
Yes.
Wow.
Gotcha.
Yes, it's very much. I don't care for the fact that they just explained it all. They just said science. Like, they didn't say, okay, we've got to do this because the flux capacitor is malfunctioning, like that kind of stuff.
Right.
Even though I understand
Wow,
flux
that's
capacitor.
lower than I thought you were going to.
It's like, no, I totally know what you mean.
Yeah.
The
Okay.
shorthand for science mumbo jumbo.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
And so that's really the reason I have to give it so low. It was fun, but it was just kind of let's throw it.
I will say for movies like that, for it to have an average of 2.5 across the two movies, that's not bad. I mean,
not
like,
bad.
you know what you're getting yourself into.
Exactly. And like, if there was a third, would I see a third? Yeah, probably.
There you go.
I would see a third.
Okay.
So I'm shitting on it, but it's more so just the script was kind of rough.
Sure. As your PG-13 horror movies tend to be.
Exactly. And like it's a multiverse and stuff like that.
Yeah,
but
it's ambitious to say the least.
Yeah.
And I will say this, just the production company that makes the Happy Death Day to You stuff, it's Blumhouse. So they made Get Out, they made Split, the Purge series. Their main thing is small budget and then decent amount of box office for that small budget. So Happy Death Day to You, $9 million spent on the movie.
Okay.
They made in total $54.5 million.
Not bad.
I think like even this week it's still like 5th or something like that in box office.
So it's still growing.
It's still making money. Like it's going. They're probably going to do a third one, and like I said, I would probably see it. So
cool.
Yeah, but we'll go on to something actually.
Okay, it's kind of it is legit. I mean, it's now an Oscar winner. It's Free Solo.
Yeah.
It is the best documentary winner of this year. And as a sports fan, I'm happy to say that now 3 years running, a sports movie has won Best Doc.
Right.
So it's
Cool.
this, Icarus, which was the cycling movie from last year.
Loved Icarus.
And that's on Netflix. Highly recommend that.
Oh,
And then
so
the year
good.
before was OJ Made in America. So there's three movies, all of different styles and storytelling.
OJ Made in America is considered a movie, even though it was like
So
parts.
funny enough about it. So there's certain things that you need to do to get a film qualified. Either in a film festival, it has to win an award, or it's screened in Los Angeles at a certain number of theaters. So the folks who produced it, the necessary things in order to get the nomination.
Yeah.
And obviously in good favor because they ended up taking home the top prize for their film. Ezra Edelman's a great documentary filmmaker. He made the Bird versus Magic one. I think I'm totally messing up the name. And then he made one for HBO about the Brooklyn Dodgers, which is really cool back in like the mid-aughts. So anyway.
Fantastic. Sorry,
sports.
Free Solo, yeah.
Sports! So this sport is a little different. It's not mainstream at all. You
Just
definitely, hopefully, heard of the story about this guy who free soloed, and that means climbing up the scale of the side of a mountain without any rope. So just chalking your hands and the technique that you have to climb, sometimes upwards of 2,500 feet. And Free Solo is about his climb of El Capitan, which is at Yosemite, which was for the longest time considered a thing that no one could free solo. You would be insane to do it.
Right.
Jeez.
And it's including the guy who eventually made the climb. And it's one of those movies where we know that he survives. He was out on the press tour promoting the movie and all that.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter. This movie
It still draws you into the drama.
It's incredible how cinematic this movie is.
Nice.
So
I'm
Yes.
I'm totally ignorant on this movie. Basically, is it like footage of it, or is it like a reenactment? Basically,
no. So this is a true documentary. So
Okay.
they're documenting his journey in doing the free solo climb of El Cap.
Okay.
And pardon me. I'm so open to crack a beer and ready to talk about this movie. It's
That's
excellent.
a good thing, yeah.
Oh yeah. By the way, I do drink beer.
And gin and tonics, apparently.
And gin and tonic, apparently. So it won Best Doc, and for good reason. Like I said before, the cinematography is outstanding. It's cinematic at its core. And I want to point that out at the very beginning, only because I think I mentioned a couple weeks ago with our podcast when I did They Shall Not Grow Old. We are in a boom of documentary filmmaking, which not only means more docks, but it also means more different kinds of docks. So we're talking about documentary films that are basically breaking the boundaries of what you would think is a documentary. The way some of the shots are portrayed and captured, it really puts you in the, I guess, the shorts, because that's all he's wearing. This guy who's climbing this thing. My palms were sweating during the last half hour, which is essentially dedicated to the climb. They do a great job of not only portraying himself as a climber, but also himself as a person. And this is something I typically do not sign up for, but the documentarians put themselves in the movie. And the reason being is because they're actually personal friends with the guy making this climb.
Gotcha.
Cool.
Okay, so they're part of the story then. Okay.
So they kind of have to be almost, because they are part of it.
Exactly. And one of the biggest trepidations about this guy, he free solos alone. When he goes out, he doesn't tell anyone, mainly because he doesn't want to have the burden of someone worrying about him in mind.
Right.
So
that's fair.
So the first attempt when he tried to scale El Cap, he bailed out. He bailed out maybe 10% of the way through. And this is after doing, by the way, dozens of trial runs with rope, so he knows what to expect when he's at different places on El Cap. And for whatever reason, he's like, guys, I'm out. And it was because he was freaked out about having these cameras around him. He has this girlfriend who is like his first legitimate girlfriend. And that's a huge part of his arc, is dealing with balancing a life with her versus doing what he wants to do.
How old is this guy when he does the full climb then?
How long ago was that too?
So Alex Holland did this in, I think it was 2016.
Okay.
So it's a little over 2 years ago.
So I remember one of my friends on Instagram used to follow him a while ago, and I would see pictures of him. Just free climbing, these crazy. I guess mountains or whatever. But I don't think I did not realize that was the guy who did that until I just looked it up now. Have you ever seen his fingers when he does that?
His fingers are insane.
Yeah.
They're muscular. I kid you not, the type of hands and the type of form you take as a free solo climber, all the muscles that you don't even think about from the forearm down to your fingertips, they all grow to a massive extent, because there's a lot of points when you are grabbing onto something basically the size of your fingernail, holding on for dear life. This is something where one minor slip up and you fall. And fall to your death.
See, I watched the trailer for it because I was intrigued by it before the Oscars and everything like that. And it's just, even the trailer for me is just kind of like, holy crap. Knowing he makes it through and everything like that. It's just kind of... You
still get that lump.
You get the white knuckle, grab on tight.
They put you in that experience. And Alex Honnold is his name. I misspoke earlier. So he does this amazing thing. But just to think about it from the filmmaker's point of view, they really put you in his shoes because they do such an effective job of showing scale. And I think the only other movie that I can compare it to, and it's really dorky that this comes to mind, but Rogue One, when they basically compare the size of different ships, I cannot explain how great that is, especially when ships are coming out of hyperspeed. Holy shit, this is what the Empire is working with?
Right.
It really puts you in the rebel shoes, holy crap. We have these rinky-dink ships, the Millennium Falcon's this big, and then here comes the Star Destroyer.
Yep.
And it's incredible.
Did a really good job of scale there,
So they do a great job with El Cap, showing what he climbs.
Yeah, I expected to talk about Star Wars when talking about Free Solo,
Hey!
It can't be overstated, I don't think. I think it's a huge part of filmmaking. So anyway, the cinematography is gorgeous. I could totally see why they won Best Doc, And it's an amazing story, not only of the trials that he went through to accomplish this task, that I believe he's still the only one to have done this.
It's pretty recent, right?
It's 2016 or whatever. And he says at the very end, he's like, this will be this guy, not a likable dude. I will say that.
Really?
I think at certain points, because he is so solely focused on getting this one task
to be
done.
that driven, I feel like you have. I mean, I don't want to talk bad about it. I haven't seen the movie, and I don't know him at all. But I feel like my assumption is, if you're this driven to do something, you've got to be some sort of sociopath. You know?
Absolutely.
So
he is solely focused on becoming the best free solo climber in the world, and frankly, he is. And when you see the way he treats his girlfriend, how he blames her for certain things, distracting him from accomplishing certain goals, or even the way he treats friends, it becomes really off-putting, and it's really strange that you're rooting for him at the end. And I think the reason being is because the little bit of humanity that becomes relatable that's revealed is the moments before he's about to climb and when he is climbing. And for whatever reason, all that, bullshit of a bravado goes away. All this, just being a boss to everyone else, that they have to serve you or put you in the best position, goes away, and he's free.
Well, I kind of see it in the way you were explaining too. That may be part of it, is he's driving people away kind of too. Like that's why he's not likable, because he doesn't want to have that burden.
Yes.
Like you were saying before. Right. That's kind of what I got when hearing this.
Yeah, that's a good way to interpret it.
Because he could be pushing people and just so he doesn't feel as bad if one of these times he falls.
Right.
Yeah.
And he doesn't feel like there's all these people that were counting on him.
I just think that if you're that driven, then you're not worried about what other people think about you, for better or worse.
That's fair.
So, which you definitely get a part of, but there is a piece of humanity that develops within him over time. He stays with this girl despite all these different things that he previously put the blame on her, but eventually she wins him over, and it's such a beautiful thing that you see there. And ultimately, you do root for this guy. You really do.
Yeah.
And it's not to say that this guy doesn't have friends. A lot of these climbers are friends and stuff, and they do legitimately care about him. But they go into his backstory. Dad never hugged him. It's the typical stuff.
Right.
What you
think,
So why is he cold? This is part of it, probably.
Exactly. So it works both ways.
Okay.
But anyway, highly recommend it.
Cool.
Hopefully it's still in theaters. I'm
You're saying
not sure.
I ask this question every time, but I do want to see this. Do I need to see it in IMAX or?
So I did not see it in IMAX.
Okay.
I just saw it in a traditional, $10, theater or
Sure.
whatever. Well worth the ticket price. Really. And I rarely say that about documentaries.
Yeah.
Because a lot of it you could definitely watch from the comfort of your own home.
I feel like
This
part of
one
the
feels
experience
like-
is seeing the breadth of El Capitan, like trying to climb it, So
Absolutely.
like, those shots.
And
I feel
this, it's cinematic, guys. And a lot of movies, even with bigger budgets, don't capture the feeling or the scale of what you would experience on a climb like this.
Okay.
And if you're too afraid to make a climb like that, like me,
Yeah.
this is your one chance.
Yeah.
Okay.
Seriously.
And you'll make it out alive, just like Alex. So
free spoilers,
solo,
dude. Sure.
I give it.
I was just gonna say rating. Yes.
Yes.
I was hoping to catch you off guard again.
4.5 L caps out of 5.
Nice.
I'm very happy with it.
Okay.
I'm very happy.
Fingers,
4.5 fingers wouldn't be
Weirdly
good. You
muscular
need all
fingers.
those
You
fingers.
need weird muscular fingers.
You need all those fingers if you're gonna scale a mountainside like that.
Okay, Andre, I see you cracking open a beer.
I did crack open a beer.
Is that because of the movie you saw, or is it because of just beer?
A little, yeah. Well, both.
Okay.
Yeah. So. Okay, so this week I, along with T-Dawg and Mitchell, we watched How to Train Your Dragon: The Hidden World.
That's number 3.
That is number 3. The final of the How to Train Your Dragon trilogy.
I am 0 for 3 so far.
Until they
So-
make another one, and then it's no longer part of the
Right,
trilogy.
I hope they don't, but we'll see. Anyways, so backstory: I'm a huge fan of the first 2 How to Train Your Dragons.
Okay.
They're my favorite DreamWorks series easily.
How are we going into this? Because I do want to see the series eventually. Do I need to excuse myself?
No. I'm going to try to keep it spoiler free because what I was thinking about is that I want this to be recommendation of the series to you because you haven't seen it yet.
Yes.
So,
sell it to me. Yes.
So I'll try to talk in generalities. So excuse me for being vague. Honestly, it's a kids movie. The plot, the narrative is not the reason why I whatever. It's not the twists and turns.
You guys were talking about like the animation style and that kind of
Yes.
stuff before we got started. So
Yeah. So basically, off the bat, like this movie looks gorgeous. Honestly,
Yeah.
it's probably the best DreamWorks has ever looked.
Nice.
Which makes sense. It's their latest movie, and this is their biggest budget film. I mean, like there was like a particular scene like where like the wet sand, like there was like a scene where they're like it's like on a beach, and Toothless, the main dragon, is drawing in the wet sand, and I like literally gasped. I was like, wow, like, that looks dope.
Nice.
That looks really good.
The particle simulation was
Yeah,
really good.
like that. That's like the
it seemed very natural.
exactly. Like it didn't take me out of it. It was like wow. There
T-Dawg with the particle simulation.
No, it's
nice.
it's-
I like it.
it's
No,
spot
that's
on.
a good. That's a good.
I took
term, I
animation
like it.
class in
Yeah.
grad school.
So
you go.
visually, this is right up there with Pixar, in my opinion. Like maybe like we can nitpick and stuff, but it's close.
Did you just fake gas?
Yeah.
Like at least make a noise. Come on, this is
I didn't
audio.
he was on a roll. I didn't want to stop him. But
No, well-
I will say this from an animation look standpoint, yes. Story-wise.
Story-wise, no. I'm not talking about story. I'm talking.
We're talking animation.
Talk pure animation
Cool.
right now.
I'm
Okay.
with you. Okay.
So yeah, I should talk. So like basically, the kind of idea behind How to Train Your Dragon, it's this like it takes place in this like kind of Viking village called Berk. The first film, like it's just the whole entire trilogy covers like Hiccup, he was like the heir to this, like he's like the son of the chieftain. He's kind of like this nerdy, plucky kid. Like his dad's the normal Viking warrior guy.
Yeah.
And they like mostly talking about the first movie really, in that like they grow up to hate they fight dragons. The Vikings will fight the dragons. The first movie kind of covers Hiccup forms a bond with Toothless, a rare dragon, a night fury, and he's like the first kid to kind of form a bond with a dragon, first person to train a dragon, and kind of wins the town over on form a relationship with dragons. So by the time we get to the third movie, the dragons have been integrated with society. Like they're hanging out. Toothless and Hiccup are like best friends at this point. And what I really like about these films is that each one there's like a significant time gap. So like Hiccup is like a kid in the first one.
Okay.
And this one he's a young adult. Like I think I looked at the age, he's supposed to be like 20, 21 or something.
Stubble,
Yeah, he's stubble now, So like I like that. What I really like about this trilogy as a whole, in that like you see these characters grow up.
Is it like real time? Like when the movie's released?
I don't think so, because I think
Okay.
the gap between 2 and 3 lore wise is smaller. I think it's only like 2 years after the second one.
Gotcha.
It's been, like, 5,
okay.
So, but whatever, it's close.
Yeah.
Similar. I kind of want to watch them all in order and like back to back to see how it goes. But anyways,
I'm willing to watch them. So
I really like, honestly, yeah. So should I actually talk about this movie? So plot wise, it was very predictable. Unfortunately, I feel like there was like it's very breakneck paced. Like there's like, all right, we introduce this villain, and like we introduce this conflict. Oh, that conflict's resolved. Oh, we introduce this bad guy. Oh, that bad guy's resolved. Like it's there's moments of tension between like how are these characters going to interact with each other? Like there's a point where Toothless finds basically a dragon girlfriend. What do they call her? The
Light Fury.
Light Fury.
I've seen it in the trailer.
Yes,
so
so she's in
Fury.
she's in the trailers, and then there's this moment with Hiccup. You're like, oh crap! Like Toothless has a girlfriend now. Like what if
He's not going to have time for me?
Exactly. Like he's like, well, like crap. Like what do I do without Toothless? And then that's resolved really quickly, frankly. And then like the bad guy is like he's supposed to be. His backstory is he's the villain, that he's like the world's best dragon hunter, and he's hunted down all of the Night Furies. He's the reason that Toothless is the last Night Fury. Yet he doesn't know. Like somebody tells him like, well, how about that Night Fury that Burke kid has? And he's surprised, like, what? The Burke guy
Why is there still a Night Fury?
Yeah, and then whatever, minor spoilers, but at this point, like Hiccup is the leader of Burke, and the Toothless is the main dragon is like the leader of the dragons. So like their notoriety is pretty high.
People know
so
about
it's like, oh great, the greatest dragon hunter doesn't know that there's a living Night Fury and he's the alpha. It's dumb a little bit. But
I think the story is pretty consistent with 1 and 2.
You think so?
Maybe 1 was better. 1 was probably better in that it was a little more novel at the time.
I would say well, go for it.
Well, so I would say that 2 was probably the lowest in terms of just like basic story.
Okay.
Kind of just they meet this villain type who they think
Villain
is the villain.
type. That's the best way to describe
villain
it.
type. Yeah.
Because I don't even know the dude's name.
Yeah.
Villain type is a common theme. It feels like.
Yeah, I mean, it's a kids movie.
And then they meet the actual villain, and then they take care of the villain. That's essentially the story.
Yes.
Very condensed, right?
So that just convinces me that I need to rewatch those the first 2 to see how I feel about it. But I remember the second one especially having more emotional resonant moments in the middle of the narrative. Like there was times where things happen in that movie where they linger on it for a little bit and like let the characters like sink. Like I don't know if specific moments I'm talking about where certain characters meet their demise and stuff, and it's like, oh wow, like that has some significant ramifications. Like there's a solid chunk of the movie where they're recovering from that. You know.
So 2 and 3 are on the same level. I go back to it just because this is the only real guide we have. Rotten Tomatoes has both of them at basically the same level.
Which is what?
What's that?
92% overall.
And what is 3 at?
Both. 92% overall.
2 and 3
89% for audience. Both of them are on the same level.
Okay. What about the first one?
98%.
Okay.
Oh, good.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would say, yeah. Honestly, if I'm gonna rank these in the trilogy, I'm gonna rank them 1, 2, 3 for me.
Okay.
Yeah. But so as an individual film, How to Train Your Dragon Hidden World is it's good. It's fine. You know.
Yeah.
I would say in a vacuum, it's a fine kids movie. It's well animated. The plot, there's no
The thing
real
that
conflict.
almost hurts it is being part of a trilogy.
I would say that's the only reason I would elevate it even higher, you know, because to me, and it's kind of cheap in that the actual main plot, everything gets resolved super quickly.
Yeah.
There's no moments to linger I feel like the first two had, where there's not really many quiet moments of character development. It's just oh, we gotta take care of this thing. Oh, we took care of it. We gotta take care of that thing. We took care of that. You know, and it's and then finally, in the last 15 minutes, I got the quiet moments, I guess, that I really wanted, the emotional resonance, the payoff. It just felt like the pacing was off, and the plot was a little predictable. But I mean, that's the same for the first two movies. That the plot's predictable there too, but it just felt like a more natural curve, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That was a super general description.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, I would say
there were no stakes.
There were no stakes.
There were no stakes in this movie.
Definitely.
That's fair.
It was where there should have been. By definition, there were. But how it all played out, you never felt it.
No. That's the thing. We were kind of in the final conflict, and I'm like, oh, this is the final battle.
We're here?
Okay, yeah, I guess,
How did we get here?
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. It's just it didn't.
None of it felt earned.
Yeah, it just felt like it was we're moving on, we're moving. There was no time to breathe, and it kind of, I don't know, maybe.
They steamroll through that final encounter so
they
do.
Quickly. They do.
Just
because they wanted those last few minutes. They wanted to get it under 2 hours for sure. Right?
That's the hard part with kids movies. I find
under 90 minutes.
Well, it was an hour 44, dude.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
But that's the thing I find hard about watching kids movies and stuff like that is because they have such a smaller time frame too. They have to rush through some story.
Yeah, and and that at the end of the day, that's why I'm not going to be super harsh on it, because it is a really great kids movie. And I mean, I'm in a weird place because the first one came out when I was in college, so it's not like I was like, oh, I grew up with this, But I have been with these characters for a while. Seeing these characters interact with each other, that was satisfying for me as a fan.
Fair.
I would say don't watch this as your first How to Train Your Dragon movie if you can avoid it. It's fine, you can do it. If your kid wants to go or something like that, yeah, go for it. You won't hate it. But I would say if you want to watch How to Train Your Dragon, do it in order. Take your time with it. You don't have to watch them all at the same time. Just they're good.
I'm gonna go through them. It's still on my list of ones I want to see. So
I would not suggest paying $18 to see the Dolby Vision version of it. If two of your friends who have the AMC Pass that's covered suggest this Dolby Vision showing of it, do not fucking go. I mean, just don't.
We gave you that option. We're like, hey, T-Dawg.
I considered
we said T-Dawg.
I still wanted to see the movie. I just didn't realize I was getting fucking pigeonholed into this.
I know, and I was like, oh, it's
Kevin, come on.
Kevin. I mean, T-Dawg.
T-Dawg.
I mean, Casper the Friendly Ghost, whatever you mean. No, we gave you that option, homie. We're like, hey, do you want to go see it in 3D?
Hey, we already decided to go this movie. 3D for a couple dollars less.
Yeah, and I mean $2 less.
Dude, I hate 3D so much though. I just
I always
I would honestly pay extra to not go to 3D. I've only seen frankly.
The 3D that 16.
If they had the same amount of what I've found lately is they don't have the same amount of movie times. And that's what the problem is. They try to
push it on,
sell you 3D,
right?
So they have 20 times that you can go see a movie in a day.
Yep.
Yeah.
And movies that don't need it, even they'll try to sell you on that.
Yeah.
Very few.
I mean, it looked great. And I had not been to a Dolby Vision type thing.
Neither have I.
I don't know if the sound, occasionally when a dragon would fly in or something, you'd feel it.
Yeah.
You
would feel it.
Oh, the chairs were
well because the sound
it
wasn't
like bug guys. It was just that was that loud.
It's the sound system. So the sound system's I wouldn't say grid, but it's formed in numerous spots above.
Yep.
And so you can feel
So
it
it
as
was pretty
something comes in.
immersive. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was
There's
immersive. It's just this film isn't really designed to be that
No,
type of immersion.
Definitely not. Well, there's
Okay.
parts though, like so. Okay, I guess minor spoilers, but the movie's called The Hidden World. When they go to the Hidden World, that place looks sick. I wish
Also
we were
revealed
there
in the
longer.
trailer, so
Sure.
don't worry.
Oh,
about
yeah,
it.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
good. Well,
They're there for like.
Trailer
they're-
sucks.
Because they found out that there was all these dragons
Yeah.
that have been hidden away from
yes,
everybody.
and maybe that's the theme of the movie. Like
It
they're
looks
only there
fantastic.
For, it
I
looks
feel
great.
like I should have told you what I know
Yeah,
going
okay.
in,
Good.
so
Yeah,
that
yeah,
you
yeah.
know how to like curtail.
Sure.
Yes, they
Right,
went
fine.
to this hidden world,
So
and
this Hidden World,
Okay.
they
Yeah.
found it.
They found it,
Found it.
but they're only there for like
Spoilers.
they're only there for like 15 minutes, and
Not
maybe
even.
Not
Yeah,
even.
it
That was
was
more
so
like 5.
short.
That was like 5.
and
minutes.
maybe I could.
This
I
is
could-
bullshit. I was
could-
promised a hidden world.
Maybe that's part of the theming where humans can't roam where dragons are like in a dragon realm or whatever. But yeah, I feel like I wanted to be there for a longer time before
fair.
like that's just
Yeah.
a symptom that we're like,
Yeah.
whoa, wow, this looks really cool. Oh, we're going back to the next conflict. Okay.
You know what I
Okay.
wanted?
What's
I
that?
wanted my fucking seat to extend fully.
Okay, that-
Oh,
Dolby
yeah.
Theater. So if you typically go to an AMC with the nice recliners, your feet could go all the way up. It is the best experience on the
Yeah,
planet.
it's sick.
But then if you roll up to a Dolby cinema, you like it goes like a quarter of the way up. It
Yeah,
doesn't make
well,
sense.
yeah.
No,
I mean,
it
your
just
knees
doesn't.
feel like they're at this awkward position.
Yeah,
that
and like
you
no,
can't fully
I
extend.
just sat straight up at that point. I was
Yeah,
like,
me too.
it's just-
I gave
yeah.
up. Like
Yeah.
you saw me, I was like squirming
I
for
know.
like the first
yeah,
half hour.
Yeah,
It,
and
like-
well, I was worried because I thought you were like having a terrible time, and I was like, oh, God.
no, it wasn't because of the
It's like,
movie.
no,
I
I'm
thought it
just
was
trying to
gorgeous,
figure out my
but-
knees.
No,
Trying to get
no,
my-
it was just like I could not get comfortable,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
mainly because in my mindset, I'm like, yo, I can go all the way back.
Look,
Sick.
all they needed were the legs to go straight out
Yes,
rather
yes,
than this
yes.
Exactly.
V-type curve.
Those are not,
Yeah.
those are not $18 seats. They were.
I don't know.
I don't care about
I
it.
mean, $10, cool.
Sure.
I would have
Oh,
good
standard
enjoyment,
movie?
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Well, aside from like doing the $5 Tuesday type thing.
Oh,
sure, yeah, yeah.
Obviously, that'd be I
Yeah,
thought it
that'd be
looked
ideal.
great. I enjoyed the movie. Not my favorite storyline, but
No, not my
overall,
favorite storyline, but-
I'm glad I went.
Yeah.
Finished off the trilogy.
Exactly. No,
$18 for that movie.
I know.
I'm not
okay.
a fan.
I'm sorry. We'll
No.
look at the ticket price, but I was feeling hot. I just got my AMC stubs.
I
membership.
know. You guys
I
are
was
like, oh
feeling
man, I gotta
cocky.
make.
pretty much
I got-
almost paid for it.
Yeah, that's what I was going to
say.
say. You're trying to make it back in a single movie.
Because you're paying $20 a month.
You're-
it's
oh
18,
yes, yeah,
you know what I mean?
exactly. That was that.
Yeah.
Aelita paid for that month for
Boom.
sure. Done.
Dude, all right. So going back to the visuals real quick.
Yeah.
As we're filling time.
Mhm.
So Mike went to the bathroom. By the way.
Yeah.
We really need to fill time.
He's pissing in the corner of my apartment right now. We're just waiting. Anyway, sorry.
behind the curtain stuff. I thought my favorite shots, and you explained like the sand thing, which is beautiful, and the Frozen 2 trailer got a lot of
Yes.
laughs in that too.
Yes.
But anyway, the wide shots of all the dragons at what's the name of the
Burke?
Burke.
Yeah.
You could feast your eyes on that
Yeah.
for hours because of how much detail there is on the screen and how clean and beautiful it looks.
It just visually, thematically, it really resonated with me just because, like, comparing with those original shots in the first movie,
Oh,
Burke
God,
looks
it's
drab.
so different.
Well, on
Yeah.
purpose. Like, it's not a problem, but, like,
Right.
yeah, you're like, it's like, oh, wow, like, this village has really grown, you know?
Exactly.
It's awesome.
It shows you how far the characters in that village have come
Yes.
since the first movie.
And there's little touches, like, this is so dumb, I'm going down the rabbit hole here so much, but there's a scene where a certain character saves Hiccup, and he says to that character, like, oh, I knew you'd come around. And they replay a theme on the fucking... This is how nerdy I am. I've listened to the first movie soundtrack so many times. There's a song called I'll Come Around.
Oh.
And that's like, they played that
When
while
I
they're...
come around.
Yeah.
Oh no!
Is it that one?
But yeah, it's that one. It's just that, yeah.
It's Green Day. Okay,
It's just
great.
Green Day. They just, yeah, it was just Dookie. Like, the whole soundtrack was just Dookie for the first one. Weird choice.
Yes. Sign me up for that. No, but it's cool that they do have callbacks to that. And I will
Yeah.
say this, for DreamWorks to come out and say this is the third and final chapter.
Yes. I feel like
That's
that's
cool.
solid. Yeah.
And
They
for
took
the
time.
storytellers to know that.
Yeah.
And they could have these callbacks for the true fans and
Yeah.
puts a bow on things.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, definitely. I would say, so...
So where are we jumping rating wise?
You're right. Yeah, sorry. I need to wrap this up. Okay.
Yeah,
So
then-
as a movie by itself, just fine. Good kids movie. You know.
Okay.
Harmless.
So are you gonna have two different ratings
No,
here?
no, I
Okay.
won't. As a cap off, this is my perspective
Yeah.
as a fan of the first two, and as a cap off to the trilogy, and really this is getting carried by like the last 15-ish minutes. I'm gonna give it 3.5 flaming dragon swords out of. Yeah, I know. Wow, too high. Yeah. So, anyways, 3.5 flaming dragon swords out of 5.
Okay, now you give me the idea. What did you two give it?
Yeah, I'm giving it a solid 2.
Okay,
like,
wow,
that's fine.
Okay,
that's what I say. Like I can't.
I'm a big story first guy.
Okay.
The story just isn't there.
No, it isn't. I wouldn't.
this is
I
fair.
would disagree.
That's, you guys are all very different in different ways. Like,
we could all have
this
our-
makes sense why there's different things.
Yeah.
I think I base my rating per movie, so it's not necessarily a story, but if you do like other things really well, I like it for what it did.
For sure. Cool.
I agree with Andre's 3.5, maybe more towards 3.
Sure.
Okay.
But
It's like a 3.25.
yeah, maybe a 3.25.
We're getting so decimally.
Like
like
3.5.
torn
getting so
Night
decimally.
Fury tales out of 5.
Okay.
Splitting hairs here.
Yep.
God, all right, I give it 3.1456.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
That's how you train Dragon 3.
So,
Kevin.
to our loser, T-Dawg, whose birthday was sometime in the past year,
And had to watch a shitty movie.
who had to watch a shitty movie for that.
for my
In that
consecutive
year.
time.
That's true.
The previous time being
The
Holmes
sequel
and
to
Watson.
Holmes and
Holmes and
Watson.
Watson.
If you would have been here last week
Yeah,
or last time, you would not have had to see a crappy movie in between. So don't give us that consecutive bullshit.
Oh, that's a good point.
I said my consecutive.
Yeah, I understood.
Okay.
We're at
so
the same level.
I watched the Netflix original.
Wow, it's a Netflix original.
What was
Keep
the name
going.
again? Because Mitchell was being
Maybe Steven
sarcastic.
Spielberg has a point. Oh, God. Anyways.
Oh, stop that.
I watched I.O.
I-O?
Ohio?
I.O. I.O.
Okay.
I'm still hearing Ohio. I'm sorry.
Oof, rough state, let me tell you.
I-O.
I mean, we can imagine that it's based in Ohio. I think we can.
Oh, nice.
Just
Yeah.
have that.
Is
in
it
the back
actually
of your
based in
mind.
Ohio?
It's an Akron.
Just
Oh,
okay,
God.
yeah. I mean,
So is this
the
like a
entire-
dystopian
The
future,
entire time,
or like-
just imagine that we're in Akron or somewhere in Ohio.
Oh, God. That sounds like a nightmare.
So
I mean, didn't Ready Player One take place in Columbus?
You did?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We saw how beautiful that place was.
Yeah, right. Scenic Columbus. All right.
All right, keep going. Sorry.
Buckeye State. All right.
so I don't. Does anyone know when it was released? It was
I have
fairly
no idea.
new. It's
And
like
no-
in the
I didn't
past,
watch it.
Past couple months.
I can't say that it's been on my to watch list.
Yeah, no.
That's not a big deal. I just if anyone had it.
I think it matters. I think
so
it really matters.
It started.
It says 2019. So.
Yeah.
Oh
well,
my
that's
God.
what I mean. Like I knew.
Gotcha.
It,
Wow.
I think
So
it was
Netflix
within
just
the
put
past.
this out.
Yeah, exactly. It
Gotcha.
was within the past month. I remember seeing trailers for it before, and I was actually like, I might be interested in that movie because I like this post-apocalyptic type Earth, right?
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what I
but
thought
then
with the Humanity Bureau.
Then you remember this is a punishment.
Yeah.
Wait, so this is set on Earth?
This is set on Earth.
Okay.
Yep, there's Anthony Mackie.
Yes, and the other some female lead who I don't recall.
Sarah Margaret Qualley.
Okay.
Quali.
Sorry if I'm butchering that name.
I looked up some of the
Sorry,
movies
Sarah
that she was
Margaret.
in before. I don't think
Sorry,
I
it's
remembered
a
or recognized many. I do think Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Is that
Oh, wow.
She's going to be in that. I don't know what.
Oh,
Dude,
she was
I'm
in
really
the Nice
excited for that
Guys?
movie.
Yeah, she's in the Nice
Yeah.
Guys.
Oh.
Yeah,
What
Once
am
Upon a
I-
Time in Hollywood. Yep.
What if, the year that came out, The Nice Guys, low-key one of my favorite movies. I thought it was
Oh,
hilarious.
yeah. It was way better than it
God.
got.
Oh, she's the shitty. She's Mia in fucking Death Note, the shitty Netflix adaptation of that. All right, I already hate this movie. Oh my God, she was
All right.
so bad in that.
Well,
We are hijacking T-Dawg.
spoilers. Yeah,
Go
thanks,
for it.
guys.
Go for it.
Spoilers alert. Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
Spoilers.
She did not carry this movie.
Okay, got it.
If you were
She didn't carry
suspecting
Death
that
Note
she
either.
did.
There
Okay.
was just a spit take. Yes! I'm pretty sure it came out his nose.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's clean. I'm good.
Okay. So we are set on Earth.
Sure.
Okay. Love it so far.
She
Great. I live
is
there
by
too.
herself, or
So
so
relatable.
so we think that her father is somewhere else on Earth as well to
We
start the
think?
show.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, just wait for me to finish a little bit.
Sorry.
I know you guys love to interrupt me.
No, it's really not. It's like whoever's in this position,
We just like.
we just ask like
It's-
terrible.
Because I
shitty
have no
questions.
basis
Oh,
of
yeah,
understanding
yeah.
this film.
This is why Leo the Lion last time lasted a half hour is because
Leo
these
the
two
Lion
idiots-
lasted for 30 minutes.
pretty much, yeah.
We had a lot to
Because
say.
these guys go, wait, whoa. So this happened? What?
Because keep in mind, we're not going to ever watch these movies.
Never.
No.
So,
We have to get all the details now
Exactly.
or
Okay,
never.
but you guys have
Exactly.
to understand that I'm trying to tell it as it unfolds. So like what?
Oh,
what,
all right.
What
Oh.
you're kind of seeing? Like I'm
Does
not
this
doing
movie
an
deserve
overview.
that?
I believe it does, and I'll explain. I'll explain why as I go.
Intrigue.
Okay.
all right, go
So,
on.
so she essentially is by herself. She's in a research station. Kind of what's described as she has like this pen pal type boyfriend who is because at one point we don't know whether or not they've. I assume that they were in one time physical contact. More
that?
so like now they're at the point where he's off in Io or at Io at some. Sorry,
Io.
let me.
Yeah, what is
yeah.
Io?
So moon of Jupiter.
Yep.
But there's some space station. I think they don't really go into much detail about how how they left Earth and where they're
How
now.
quickly can one get to Io?
Not
with this?
quickly, but
Right,
but
okay.
that's part of the I guess problem that she's experiencing is that so they wanted everyone to leave Earth because it's now become most of the atmosphere is no longer inhabitable by
so it's
humans.
toxic.
It's
Well,
toxic,
it's
toxic,
Wall-E.
toxic
Yeah.
to humans, right? Because
Sure.
the oxygen levels are not sustainable.
It's the bad ending of Interstellar, basically.
Yeah, kind of part of that. Now there are pockets of
really like
Earth
that movie.
which I'm not entirely sure how this would work out. There are pockets of Earth which it's inhabitable. So she's currently on this little research colony. They have bees, and she's
Oh, the bees survived. Well, that's good.
yeah,
Oh,
that's,
wow.
yeah. Well, kind of.
Okay.
Oh god, they're mutant bees. Sorry.
Oh, killer bees. Oh no.
Oh shit.
That's-
Glad we don't have
No.
killer bees in this world.
And that's how the movie ends.
Whoops.
Killer bees kill her, and that's just
That's the it. That's it. Wow.
I'm in on this.
Okay, no, that didn't.
Oh.
Unfortunately, that would have been nice.
I was so excited.
Not
So-
the bees!
Let's see. So we have this inhabitable Earth. They're trying to, they've already moved most of the population off of Earth to some space station colony.
Elysium.
Yeah, we really don't know how well.
It's like
This
pretty.
is like the most unoriginal movie.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Pretty generic dystopian sci-fi,
yeah.
right?
I mean,
Okay.
it's basically everything you can think of, just added elements of it. And
Okay.
it's kind of
Cool.
Yeah.
Fun.
So when do the aliens come in? You said
Well,
any elements.
Is one of them a
What?
robot?
What?
Say that again.
You said any element. I'm taking from aliens and saying
Yeah,
that
well,
it's like
aliens.
the like
Yeah,
the
dude.
really
Which-
long skull
I mean,
alien.
Which one's the Cylon?
technically
Is there
we're
anybody that's a
alien.
Cylon in
Technically, the humans are aliens when they move. Right?
Oh, the Io.
I
That's
guess
true.
that's
That's a good
true.
point.
Wow.
Wow. Is that the deep messaging in the movie? Wow.
We need a wall around Io.
Build a wall. Build a space wall.
I'm gonna build the biggest wall. Okay. Iowa's in.
All right.
All right, wrong aliens.
We
Sorry.
don't need
And
this
Iowa will
diversion.
pay for it.
And Iowa will pay for it.
Wrong aliens, guys. Come on.
Okay, so we do not know what type of technology that humans have at this point. Just that they're able to go that far away
Okay,
and
that's a
sustain
pretty-
life.
So Elon Musk has done it, and they have space travel for
SpaceX
for
has made it out. There's
Okay.
Tesla cars flying around.
Got it.
EO
Great.
at this-
Falcon X was a success. This is great. All right, cool.
And now I think it should be Io, right? And then I
Yep.
think somebody said EO, and I started saying EO after that.
It's Io.
It's Io.
I'm assuming.
Whoever said-
EIEIO?
Yeah. So
Craig Elo, man.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, cool. So, all right, she's documenting her findings as she's going. We see her inject herself with samples of something that form, I would say, a reaction, like some sort of hive or.
Okay.
Basically, she's trying to immune us, like. I
Make
guess.
yourself immune to that?
Yeah, but the issue with that is they never really describe what she's doing aside
Got it.
from.
Okay.
Great storytelling.
It's a very minor point later on that they
As-
mention it.
As we go back, Science?
Yes.
Oh, science.
Science for science.
Although
Sorry.
it was interesting because
Science.
some things are very specific, like almost too specific,
Okay.
with, like how
Okay.
something would work.
Huh.
And so it was almost like this was like somebody's project where they're like, oh, let's think out how something like this would happen.
Okay.
But then they leave out major details in other aspects. We have this
Yeah.
we have this kind of eerie feeling that she's by herself. They never make it clear. And then all of a sudden, this hot air balloon arrived. It's it's a little more than just a basic hot air balloon, but
yeah, some
other
kind of
than
craft.
Anthony Mackie, he's showing up for the first
Anthony
time.
Mackie.
He's ready to save the movie from any
Is
destruction.
Andy Mackie
Is
just
he-
Falcon? Like, does he have his Falcon
Yeah,
suit?
yeah. I mean, he didn't even need the balloon structure that he arrived on.
He just shows
yeah,
up and he's like asking where
He's
Steve
like-
Rogers is. That's what I want to know.
He's like,
So like
where's
all
Iron
Marvel
Man at?
characters that do movies outside of the Marvel universe, they suck first, right?
Well,
Like some of them do good movies, but they have one
Yeah.
suck.
Robert
one.
Downey Jr.
Robert Downey
was,
Jr.
frickin' was a great actor before,
No. I'm
No,
talking
he's saying,
about
like,
after
post-
they became.
Marvel.
they have a dud afterwards.
I'm trying to
Yeah.
think because
Okay.
Scarlett Johansson, Ghost in the Shell.
Oh my god, yeah.
Oh,
Robert Downey Jr.
You
the judge.
you cut me
Judge.
deep with that one.
Oh,
yep,
God,
yep,
that's
you're
rough.
right.
We have
I did like
Here We
Robert Duvall in
Go.
that movie.
You remember
It's
Chris
Evans.
Yep. What about
Yeah,
Chris Hemsworth?
that is on our list, by the way, of bad movies.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah. Chris
yes.
Hemsworth. What?
Oh, what was he
I
in?
mean, Rush was kind of disappointing, I guess.
Oh, I love
Oh.
Rush.
That
I am a bannerman for House Rush.
Okay.
I am ready to go to bat for that movie.
I can
Sorry,
see
we
why you like-
distracted.
Yeah, you're right. I'm
distracted.
sorry.
Okay.
Anthony
Marvel.
Mac Falcon shows
All
up.
right.
Yes.
And he saves the
Feel bad.
movie, basically. No. So he's looking for her father, who
Aren't we
is-
all?
Yeah,
Yeah.
not really looking for someone else's father.
Oh,
Anyways,
spoiler.
Well, no, because
Oh.
he's looking for her father, who's a scientist. So he's been
Oh, Anthony Mackie's looking for the
her
girl's
father,
father.
which is a
okay.
researcher. He's a
Okay.
he's a
Got
very
it.
well-known researcher because they've played in. Yeah,
Yeah,
please,
spit it out. Yeah,
I can't
you,
continue.
Mike, you're
Keep
struggling
going.
here.
Go ahead.
No,
What? Yeah, there's this. What,
Chris Hemsworth was in Snow White and the Huntsman after.
There we go.
there-
Done.
there it
Thank
is.
you. Okay.
After the Avengers.
Do
Sorry,
not-
keep
do
going.
not bring Rush into that
I
conversation.
mean, no.
damn it.
It's not bad.
Sorry, keep going.
It's
All
good.
right. Now that we've
Do a movie.
figured
I
out
know.
that-
I feel
you
bad
will
about
win.
it. I feel bad about it. I
I
do.
surrender.
All right, go
No, it's
ahead.
fine. It's just they're going off again.
Yeah.
I'm talking about Rush over here, okay? I gotta watch it again, I guess.
Please,
All right.
please let me not interrupt you. So basically, through the public broadcasting system,
PBS.
yeah, it's not branded PBS,
Mr.
right?
Rogers is back.
He's never gonna get through this.
This might be the worst. This might be worse than actually watching the movie.
This is why all our podcasts are over an hour.
Okay.
And why nobody will actually ever listen.
I listened
I'm
twice,
listening.
and I always unsubscribe, then subscribe to get the extra download.
Oh, yeah.
Like, oh yeah.
Oh, there you
That's
go.
a trick.
Yeah. Go for
Oh, smart decision.
Probably be banned after this. but,
Yeah.
iTunes is like none of that.
They now know the strategy.
Okay, so initially there was an effort, and this might have been revealed a little bit later on, but it's fine revealing it now to you guys.
Sure.
Thanks.
There was an effort, especially by her father, to have people stay on Earth, to help, restructure and revive Earth, essentially, to make it inhabitable for these, the people that were still on Earth at the time. And then so, they keep broadcasting this out, and her father was a big proponent of that for a while. And so Anthony Mackie shows up, he demands to see her father. She kind of dances around the subject, but she's like, oh yeah, he's off on this research expedition. He'll be back in a few days. You can tell that she seems awkward in the movie the entire time, but
Awkward, on purpose? Yeah.
Or-
that's questionable.
Okay.
It might be the character, but
She was just-
It might be the actress.
She
acting.
She was awkward, not on purpose in Death Note.
Yeah, so that's the thing. Like, the acting seems a little bit unnatural as well.
Okay.
In this part in particular, because she's supposed to be acting unnatural and she's already unnatural, so it's like extra.
Wait, how is she unnatural? Like, is she supposed to be acting unnatural?
Yeah, because he's looking for her father,
right?
Who at the time we think or is proposed that he's still alive on Earth. Okay, so
but do we know if she knows if he's still alive?
We don't know for sure at this time.
Gotcha.
So
okay.
It's been like very non-confrontational that anything has happened to him. So
gotcha.
For aside from like little cues, we suspect that he's still alive. Probably not though.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
So
yeah, I mean, spoilers.
So I'm sorry. So Anthony Mackie's going to Io to find the father?
No, this is all on Earth.
Okay.
This is all on Earth.
Okay.
He arrives here from a different part of Earth.
Okay.
To find her father.
Okay.
Okay.
So Anthony Mackie is from a different pocket on Earth.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, like a
country.
Yeah.
A country, a nation, if you will. Okay.
And so we
from Australia.
Welcome to the first 40 minutes of the movie.
Wow. All right.
How long is this thing?
How long is this movie?
I don't know.
Okay.
Oh, I'm so glad I only had to see an hour and a half movie.
Yeah.
This is a 2-hour movie.
No,
Maybe
it was
Humanity
less,
Girl was
but,
full 2 hours.
But it went very slow. Like nothing happened. Nothing happened in the time that this movie was going on. Essentially, I mean, I can probably explain this as the same.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, so how's the cinematography?
Oh, Jesus.
Was there anything rewarding about this?
Yeah. What, are there any upsides to
so
this?
they don't really show a lot. Like there's no beautiful landscape.
What a great movie.
So there's no shots.
Yeah, it's basically this pocket of this research area, which is just really some tents and rundown.
So the set design, it's not like cool. Like it's just
Oh
generic
no,
sci-fi.
and it stays in this very centralized
So
position.
it's
sounds
really
like
just like
research,
a
but like,
research facility?
Yeah,
there is
it's not
certain-
even a big facility.
It sounds like the Fire Festival.
Yeah, a little bit.
yeah, it's
So
kinda like that.
there are certain research facilities. There's like Alien takes place entirely on a ship, and that
Yeah,
ship is really
right,
cool.
but this
looking.
is, and honestly,
Not festival.
it's I can't even remember exactly what it is. I think it's
Is it
like
just
a
generic
rundown
sci-fi
hut.
Okay.
Yeah, with
Okay.
with rundown building structure with a few tents around. That I might be a little bit off because I was not. It did not engross my attention.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Okay.
You were not fully engaged with
yeah.
Io.
You were not engaged with.
Well, no, this is Earth again. Oh, but yes.
Well,
Io,
the
the
film
movie.
Io.
Sorry,
Okay,
sorry.
so if this fucking film is called Io, then why the fuck are we on Earth still?
Yeah, that's the point. Like to get to Io, like so she's staying around because her dad, so we find out most of this at the same time. Anthony Mackie is looking for her father, and those two, the girl and Anthony Mackie, fall in love a little bit, like
Of
really
course.
quickly,
Okay.
because they're just chilling.
What about her
and-
pen pal boyfriend?
Yeah, what
Yeah.
the fuck
Are they
is that
Netflix
about?
Exactly.
and chilling?
So-
Does Anthony Mackie the pen
So
pal boyfriend?
the pen pal boyfriend
Oh!
reveals that he's been selected for this mission.
Okay.
Not on this space station on Io. And so they won't see each other for a long time. And so she basically breaks down, cries, and then, her and Anthony Mackie hook up. And
Nice.
They start macking.
Yeah,
They start-
exactly. It's this Mac.
Yeah.
Big Mac, little Mac scenario.
Yeah.
And now I'm not entirely sure which event happens first, but I think this happened before. She tells him that. So originally she said that she was just a researcher, like one of his assistants, and then she reveals that she is his daughter actually, and that he had been away for. Well, at one time he said, she was telling him that she was
When you weren't
away
listening.
yeah, exactly. Okay, and then so he reveals. I think she reveals first that her father's dead.
What?
Shockers to
Spoilers.
everyone.
Fuck!
Shockers.
He's dead?
Yeah. And
Damn
not
it.
only that, but
I was so
her
invested.
mom died at one point.
No.
And it was kind of because I
She
don't
had a
remember
mom?
exactly if it was because of her father. So her mother was sick for a while, and maybe if they would have left Earth, it would have been all right.
Well, if
And-
they made it to Io, it would have been okay.
But before her father died, he wanted her to go to Io, like as a don't stay here because of me and try to save this, Earth
just
type
want you to
thing.
make it
go.
to Io.
But she
Yeah.
stays here, yeah.
With great power comes great responsibility.
but you don't have any power. No.
Oh. You have a lot of responsibility
you know,
with toe power.
and at this time, like
Becomes
during her research time, slightly around when Anthony Mackie started coming, the last of the bees died off. You know, it was kind of
Not the
great-
bees!
Not the bees!
Not
No!
the bees!
So then, all right. So this point, Anthony Mackie.
The bees are my favorite character.
Hold on.
When did he build
Anthony-
the Falcon suit?
Yeah, I don't know. At some point in this. Okay.
I love
so,
how Anthony Mackie is nothing else besides Falcon anymore.
Oh, and the guy who lost to Eminem in
He-
8
he-
Mile.
Yeah, there you go.
I liked him in what's the Christmas movie? A Night.
The night before.
The Night before. I
Oh,
like
the
that.
Night Before,
I mean,
yeah.
but that plays his like.
So he did a
personality.
decent movie.
Yeah,
All right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I really like that movie, but
No, I like
it's like a
Anthony
fun.
Mackie.
He was kind of in the Hurt Locker.
That's why
yeah.
I feel bad for
He was in the
Yeah.
Hurt Locker.
Yeah, he was in the Hurt Locker.
Yeah, he was in the Hurt Locker.
Yeah.
Okay,
He's a good actor.
let me be
Him and
clear.
Hawkeye together.
Let me be clear. He was not the
Avengers
reason
Part
the
One?
movie
Sorry.
sucked.
Okay.
That's
Anthony
fair.
Mackie's
Okay.
not. It's not Anthony Mackie's fault. is
But
what you're saying.
yeah, like no
So
matter
you're right.
how well he acted, he could not redeem this.
So
movie.
is he
like,
in
there-
tax
there's-
trouble?
yeah,
like
you
Nick
can't
Cage is
say-
or something?
Yeah, they're
like,
just
that's what I
like-
want to know.
This,
Like,
this whole fucking movie is like just them kind of talking. Like
yeah,
that's
It's a
essentially
lot of dialogue.
Yeah.
Okay. So
No, it's not even that much dialogue. Like, but
I can
it
see why
just
an actor's
happens.
drawn to that,
Okay.
though.
I found an interesting
in terms of, like,
connection,
having
sorry.
a project where
Okay, I
there's
mean,
a lot of screen time
sure,
for you.
sure.
And honestly, it could be one of those things where the script is better than the movie.
Right. Okay, maybe. Yeah.
Yo.
I found an interesting connection with Anthony Mackie and Chris Evans.
Okay.
In 2014, before Captain America Winter Soldier, which we were introduced to Falcon,
Yep.
Chris Evans and Anthony Mackie were in a movie together called Playing It Cool.
Oh, okay.
It sucked.
Who was
No,
in it?
no.
Who are the lead characters?
Chris Evans.
Chris Evans,
And
Michelle
Anthony
Monaghan,
Mackie.
Oh,
Okay.
Michelle Monaghan.
Okay.
the ever lovable Aubrey Plaza.
Yes.
Oh, I love Aubrey Plaza.
She's
We
so
got-
likable.
We got Luke Wilson,
Okay.
Martin Starr, the guy who
Wow.
plays
Oh, wow.
Guilfoyle in like.
Yeah,
Oh,
Silicon
yeah.
Valley.
He's
Yeah.
from Freaks
And
and
he's in
Geeks.
Freaks and
He's
Geeks.
a
as
Freaks
in
well.
Freaks and
Geeks.
Geeks.
Yeah. I like
And
that
of
guy.
course, the ever lovable Topher Grace.
Oh.
Topher Grace, man. He was in...
Hey, that's
He was
that
go- he was
He's
going
in Black
for it.
Klansman.
Yeah, he's in Black Klansman, exactly. He's a great actor.
Oh, was
Yeah.
he? Oh,
Yes.
I haven't seen Black.
Yeah.
He
I-
was
He was like the
Grand
chief,
Wizard?
the Grand Wizard, yeah.
In
So,
the KKK?
all
so
right.
I
That-
own Black Klansman.
And
I am
he
planning
owned it.
on watching it this next cycle.
Okay.
Like, to,
Oh, good.
It
yeah.
was good.
It's
I'm
not
excited
his
for it. I'm
fault
really excited.
that somebody cast him as Venom.
No, it's
let's
not.
be-
Oh,
No,
it's not.
Topher Grace?
No, no,
Dude, get that paycheck, dude.
Yeah,
Get
I
that
mean, he got
paycheck.
that
It
superhero.
was, it was a smart move by Topher
He
Grace.
got that mid 2000 superhero film paycheck. I don't blame
Back
him.
to Anthony Mackie and
All right,
Io.
back
What are you
to
talking
the-
about? Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
so Anthony
Okay.
Mackie's Mackin.
Yeah, he's macking on, this researcher's daughter.
Yeah.
But
Who's dead?
He
Who's dead?
originally came here to
Find the researcher.
to lay some smack down.
To lay some smack
he's
and
a lazy
bubble
boy.
gum, and he ran out of
Because-
bubble gum.
Oh shit!
So the researcher was advocating people stay here, and essentially that's how his wife, I think it was his wife,
Wait.
Anthony Mackie's wife,
Anthony Mackie's macking on this researcher's daughter while
Died.
he's married.
Died.
Oh,
Died.
okay,
Listen
alright.
to the
Died.
full
I'm
explanation.
sorry.
Died.
I'm sorry.
died.
Wow.
Oh, so his
Okay,
wife died.
he died.
Okay.
She
She
did.
died. She died.
Okay.
She did.
She gone. She gone.
She gone.
She gone, bitch.
She gone, bitch.
Rip.
Gone,
Okay,
bitch.
so that's why he showed up here
R.I.P. in
to
peace.
basically deal
R.I.P.
with
pepperonis.
this researcher. Who knows what he would have done? Maybe killed the researcher.
Whoa.
Maybe been like, I'm really
Oh.
mad at you, but it's all right. I'm not sure.
Uh-huh.
Who knows?
Is that it? Is this the movie?
No,
Oh,
I'm not
good.
done yet.
How?
Okay,
Okay,
great.
we gotta let's speed
yeah.
towards the climax.
Well, yeah,
here.
if you guys want to,
I know. No. I'm not saying it's not our fault. I'm saying.
I think you do not understand something. The entire movie is the climax. Like it's just a constant climax.
So you're saying
You're
you're
plateauing on the climax.
You're
the entire
climax. I'm
time.
sorry. You're saying you're climaxing the whole entire time.
yeah,
That sounds great.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
Climacking.
Okay.
You said the secret word.
Everybody take a shot.
All right.
All right.
Oh.
All right. So
That is a new element to the podcast.
I
that
was
might have to be
joking.
added.
That's
Yeah.
a very dangerous
Ooh,
proposition.
no, that is great.
I think
I'm gonna
that's-
choose the
I-
secret word. We're gonna have shots, and if anybody sees the secret word, we take
Oh
shots.
my god!
All
The
right.
part of the reason why we're interrupting him is because he's the last, and we've had drinks already.
Understood.
Whatever, it's
Keep
fine.
going.
Go.
okay. Let me gather myself again.
Mhm.
So
Who said the secret word?
all right. They've kind of vented out their grievances to each other.
Okay.
They're hooking up for a while.
Ooh.
Nice.
Steamy.
At some point, they actually see a bee. Like they find a new bee. You know, basically, a recently hatched
by Jerry
queen
Seinfeld?
bee.
Do they name it Toothless?
Is it
Keep going.
voiced by Jerry Seinfeld?
Stop listening to these two.
It might have been a better movie.
Jerry
Okay.
Seinfeld.
So, and then, so over the, another premise of the story is that the last set of pods that were going to go back to Io are now going to launch in a couple days. And so she's finally decided that she wants to leave after this. I don't exactly understand her like sudden realization. Like her dad has been dead like a year at this point. It was probably like the bees dying type thing,
So
and maybe her boyfriend finally being like,
Wasn't
"Hey,
the dad
he's not
dying?
even
It was
gonna
the
be
bees
there."
dying.
You know.
Okay.
Okay, so
I don't understand. So where does Io like? They go to Io ever or nah? Or
She feels hopeless, so she wants to leave.
I'm getting there.
You're getting
I'm
there.
getting
I'm sorry.
getting
I'm
there.
impa- I'm
I'm getting
impatient.
there.
This is
yeah,
lovely.
yeah.
This
You're
is
really
lovely.
impatient.
I'm sorry.
All right. Should we wait until Mitchell gets back?
No,
No.
keep
I
going.
think he said his piece.
All right. So originally they were near a pod or one of these structures that would take them back. Some reason with weather conditions, this one was no longer viable.
Uh-huh.
So they have an automated system that announces to them, they need to go find this other one. They actually know where it is, but the issue is that it's farther than the amount of helium that they have for the balloon structure to take.
Okay.
To actually reach that destination. So now she knows of this area that has a large helium deposit that they can stock up there. It's out of a zone. It's in one of the toxic zones, and so it's probably the most dangerous part. Yeah, it's this small dangerous part.
Okay.
And I might not have been paying the most attention during the after this part.
Yeah, I feel like
that's fair.
you mostly checked out. I get it.
So
I'm not surprised when we watch terrible movies that people are checking out at some
Yes.
point.
Okay, so at some point, they're both there, and then at some point she realizes something or she finds something, and she takes off her. She's like, I maybe it's not toxic to me anymore.
Oh, wow!
And she takes off her oxygen mask,
And her face disintegrates.
and she's all right because
Whoa!
so I don't think they reference this directly. I think one time Anthony Mackie had asked her about the things she was injecting to her stomach.
Gotcha.
But apparently
Okay.
she became
That was enough.
She adapted to the environment, which really stretching it there.
Okay, whatever. Yeah, sure.
Okay,
Fuck it.
okay, yeah. So it's not over yet. So then she's like, so she, since now she can breathe on this toxic earth, she's going to stay there. Anthony Mackie goes, and this, honestly, I don't even remember this part. I had to look it up because
You just forgot.
Yeah.
You just didn't
I don't
cognate.
even I was kind of watching it, but
You were playing your Switch at the same time or something.
PlayStation 4. Who knows?
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Fair.
So
Fair.
he's on Io. Now they're pen paling back and forth.
Oh wow!
And
It's like
she's
full
and
circle.
apparently she's with the kid now because they were hooking up.
Oh,
and they're
God,
both living there.
jeez.
And
Like,
Anthony
Mackie?
MacLing.
Yeah.
Whoa!
It never ends. The Mac puns never
If I have the pun, I'm gonna take it.
Oh yeah, you're driving it.
Wow. Okay.
All
So
right,
Anthony
so-
Mackie's the baby daddy.
So comparatively to Holmes and Watson, very different. The point is that you could watch Holmes and Watson as a bad movie type thing.
You can.
This
To be clear, that's the last bad movie you saw.
Yeah,
Was- yeah,
correct.
yeah,
Which
yeah,
was
yes.
2 podcasts.
That was your
ago.
last time.
I mean, if you haven't listened
Episode
to that
2,
podcast,
if you
go
subscribe,
back,
you'll see it.
Hit the subscribe button.
you really,
hit the
you really
like
need
button.
to get the full arc.
I mean,
of
hit the
T-Dawg's
subscribe button.
character,
Share this
really.
podcast with your friends.
but he's
maybe
full on shell
maybe
like-
maybe let me know what they sound like, or if I should.
They can't
subscribe
let you
to
know
them.
because you're T-Dawg.
Send me a shout out on.
Yeah, big shout outs to T-Dawg.
Hey,
send
like
a
the
review,
Facebook page.
Send a review.
Oh, yeah, we're on Facebook.
Put
We're
a
on Facebook.
Facebook
Wow,
comment.
dude, you guys-
Let me know if I should subscribe to this.
No, listen, I just want to take this time to talk about Blue Apron. Let me tell you guys. I'm just kidding.
I mean,
And GroupMe.
hold on,
You can't
hold on.
forget in
Yeah.
the second episode, GroupMe is
Hold
the
on.
sponsor apparently.
Yeah, I mean, if
You're right.
anyone is going to send us free products, we will endorse that. Aside from movies, because we're going to shit on them no matter what.
Yeah, right. We gotta remain impartial.
Yeah. impartial.
We'll give good ratings to good movies,
Oh, yeah.
but we will shit on it a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, like,
Big time.
you know,
Yeah.
we're not going to take like.
So Io, where do you land? 3 stars.
Hold on,
first? Okay.
hold on. We're not going to
3?
take like free copies of Io for a good rating because
Right,
you know,
yeah.
like we don't want to actually watch.
Yeah.
Really good review.
It. All right. That.
All right,
it's
so rating, guys. Come on.
It's a 1 moon out of 5. You know.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Is 1 the minimum, or is like
Well,
0
no, I did
point...
0 on Holmes and Watson.
Wow,
But-
so you like them more?
I did 0 on Leo the Lion.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Okay.
so
Okay.
but I feel like
Yeah.
Holmes and
The
Watson.
only person that has said he has to give it a 1,
No, half.
a half, sorry,
Yep.
a half. So that has to have any rating whatsoever is Mitchell.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because he said you made a movie half.
Yeah. All right.
I feel
Hard
like
to
you
make
could
a
watch
movie.
Holmes and Watson, like, you know,
Yeah.
drink a bunch, make fun of it, whatever. This just like went on.
It's a drag.
Little
Yeah,
dialogue. There's nothing like to even pick out about and make fun of. Really, it just happens.
Gotcha.
Anthony Mackie's like, you know, his
kinda
like,
washes over you.
you know,
just
you
kinda
know,
like
you have
life.
Anthony Mackie, not necessarily bad acting in here. It's just he's giving his lines. Nothing happens. The girl's awkward in this movie.
That's fair. Yeah.
You know,
I'm
I
already
get it.
slanted against her because
Yeah,
Death Note
yeah.
was
I
just
mean,
bad.
she plays this daughter of a
Yeah, you already hate
researcher.
her.
Maybe
Yep.
not much social exposure.
Okay.
Maybe she's playing the role perfectly for all I know. And
Whatever,
that's it.
Okay.
Anthony Mackie didn't do great. He was just saying his lines.
It's
oh,
like-
God.
He didn't even put on the Falcon suit like one time.
Yeah, you know, if he would have broken out this Falcon suit, I would
That'd been
have given this a 2
Okay,
out.
let's
Like
be
just for the
honest, though.
absurd, like all of a sudden, you know, his visor comes down and he's like, you know, he's like, first of all, she's like, no, I'm gonna stay here, and he's like, and like jets off.
It's off in the Falcon suit.
All right.
I think I would have enjoyed that part.
Okay, sure.
Any last words?
I love you.
Yeah. Thanks for listening. I appreciate you.
Subscribe on iTunes, like our Facebook page. This was Game for a Movie. You can find it on iTunes or on Facebook. We are literally Game for a Movie. Thank you, Mitchell, for designing our logo, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
dude,
Big ups.
Yeah, no problem, guys. It was fun. Like the original cut did not look great, so thank you for the feedback.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
what we're after for.
Did it look like a penis?
It looked
It's
like a
up for
penis.
debate.
It's up for debate.
A very like
curvy penis.
problematic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I put a film reel at the end of the film tape.
Yeah.
And
We don't need
Yeah.
the backstory.
Yeah, we don't-
just
we don't-
need to know
we're
it
good.
looks
We're
like
fine.
a
We're
penis.
fine.
Look, man.
I like the
I
logo.
just like to draw dicks. I mean,
on that note, if someone would like to sponsor us and give us free beer or free anything,
Free
you know,
beer would be
feel
great.
Free beer would be great.
at any time.
I will definitely say out loud what beer I'm drinking if that was the case.
Yeah.
Hey, Counterweight, Crucial Mass.
Wow, they didn't even pay us, but okay. Here's
Yeah,
the freebie.
we also got Amber Ale from Bell's.
yeah.
So that is pretty solid beers, I'd say.
Yeah.
If
Absolutely.
anybody else, we'll give a call out. Sure, we'll whore ourselves.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
And
I
on
mean,
that note,
This is probably the only episode that will mention it, but
Yeah.
probably not.
Probably not. No.
Probably not. I'm a major whore.
Just
Wow.
excellent.
And